Welcome to the Break Free Real Estate Podcast. Hi, everyone. Today, David and I are here, and we wanted to share with you guys the best 3 real estate investing books for beginners. So, if you're just getting into real estate and you want to learn more and you like to read, then this is the best podcast for you to listen to, because you can go get these 3 books and then you can buy them and get very knowledgeable. David, what is one of your top 3 real estate books?
Well, it's sort of cliche at this point because literally, like, I don't know many investors who don't mention it, but it's Rich Dad Poor Dad because it shifts your thinking. It's a very simple book, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. A very well-known book, but it really focuses on the mindset of an investor and really understanding assets and liabilities versus the technicalities. I mean, there is some technical aspects of investing in real estate in the book, but the reality is it's all about shifting your mindset and your paradigm to think like an investor versus like most normal people out there who really buy liabilities versus assets. So Rich
Mhm.
Dad Poor Dad was the first one for me.
I love that. I read that book. I'm a huge believer in it. Like I've mentioned before, Robert Kiyosaki made it like a children's board game, and I used to play that growing up, and that helped shift my mindset. But it is a mindset like real estate. I feel like I might be shunned for saying this, but I feel like a lot of people are brainwashed to think that you have to work for 45 years to pay off your house and get married right away and have kids and like work for retirement and then get to retire for 10 years. And that just didn't sound fun to me. And I loved the mind shift that Rich Dad Poor Dad provided. And then David, do you want to mention your second book?
Yeah. And so the second one is part of like Gary Keller's trilogy. It's actually called Hold, Hold. For those of you on YouTube, here's the book right here. It was actually written by one of Gary Keller's partners, Jim and Linda McKissick. Actually, 4 different people: Steve Chatter, Janice Dottie, Jim and Linda McKissick, and Jay Papasan, who helped Gary Keller write all of his other books, is also a part of this one. Anyways, I like the book because it's very simplistic and it walks through how Jim and Linda built up their portfolio of, I think, over 100 single family residential properties, and how they did it, how they structured it. It's really a basic operating agreement if you're looking to build a portfolio of rental properties. And so it goes through the very basics of how to analyze a deal, to finding deals, to financing deals, to refinancing, and ultimately building a portfolio. So it's fantastic, especially for a new investor.
Yeah. And what a great name for a book. I love that name.
Old. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. And then the third one we want to mention is Real Estate by the Numbers by Jay Scott. If you have listened to this podcast, you know that I'm a very analytical person. And so obviously this book is amazing to me. Real estate is actually a numbers game. Like if you haven't figured that out, it's how much if you play it correctly by the numbers, you're going to be able to expand and you're going to be more successful. And so this book really dives into the numbers. And I mean, I read it just in the past month and I learned a ton. And I've been involved in real estate and have a good understanding of the numbers before that, but I still learned more. And so that would be a great book to read to really start to understand why a deal is a good deal and why a bad deal is a bad deal. David, do you have any other things you want to mention?
No, I think those 3 books are perfect for a beginner because you have to start with the mindset because there's all these limiting beliefs, there's all these ways of living and thinking about real estate and money that are entrenched in your psyche that have to be eliminated. So starting out with Rich Dad Poor Dad will help you with the mental aspect. Then Hold is sort of like a general operating an operating manual of how to go about building a real estate portfolio. And then the real estate by the numbers by Jay Scott is perfect because it's going to help you to get into the more analysis side of things and making sure that you're making good buying decisions. So I think those 3 books are perfect.
Yeah, I agree. That's it for today. For more daily investing tips and real estate secrets, don't forget to visit breakfreerealestate.com and make sure to like, subscribe, and share our podcast. We will see you tomorrow.